dance for joy or lust or anger, and every time you haven't got it right.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, a series where we look at practical and sensible cars which you can buy for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000. This is the 2008 box-up Volvo XC90 3.2 SE Lux. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So the Volvo XC90 was introduced all the way back in 2002. It's still in production in its second generation form, which is also actually 10 years old now. But it had one of the longest production lines of any modern Volvo. Obviously things like the 240 were a bit longer, but certainly the longest one I can think of. The engines available in one of these are a 2.5 turbo 5-cylinder with 207 horsepower. Some markets I think were a bit more like 211, which is replaced in 2006 approximately by this 3.2 6-cylinder. Both of them are straight engines with 234 horsepower. The very last ones to be sold in this country were 239 horsepower in 2010. The other engine options were the 2.9 straight 6 engine, which was basically a bit of a larger version of the 2.5, with one extra cylinder with 268 horsepower. And that was replaced in about 2005-2006 with 4.4 Yamaha developed V8 with 311 horsepower. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. So yes, these lovely petrol engines were all discontinued in 2010. So the last 4 years of this car's life in the UK, you couldn't get any engines that we can discuss, which is a shame. Possibly if you buy one of the imported cars, and there are some around, you know, maybe like a Japanese import or Singaporean import and things like that, which I've seen. If you want your petrol-powered first-generation XC90, these are very nice, easy cars to drive. This engine actually sounds absolutely great. It sounds fantastic. Obviously, got loads and loads of grip on virtually all roads with this four-wheel drive system by Haldex, which is excellent. It just feels very safe. It rolls a bit in the corners. It's a massive car that's really tall, so don't try to drive it like you would a Grand Prix car. But apart from that, it's not too bad for something like this. Interesting to actually get to film one of these after having sourced 2 of these, which I can't talk about, over the course of many years in my career. The petrol models are quite rare. This one is a 3.2. You also get a 4.4 litre V8 and also a very rare 2.5 litre turbo. But this is probably the most common one. You're going to see this in the earlier 2.9 T6 model. Big imposing car, based on the same chassis sort of as the P2, V70, S60 and S80. They were all roughly on the same platform. This one is a little bit different. Of course, it's I think the vast majority in this country, if not all of them, were four-wheel drive. It's actually got a proper Haldex system in this. Facelift occurred in about 2007. There were a couple of other minor changes as well after that, but the main facelift was just before this one came out. So this is a 2008, which I think does look better. Not all the trims had the sort of arches painted silver like this one does, or body colour, until sort of the end. I think the base trims until about 2012, and bear in mind that they went until 14, these cars had the plastic arches. So yeah, this is a fairly high spec one, I suppose, the SE Lux. And most importantly of all, viewers, we have Oh, one in a second. A beige leather interior. Look at this. I think we've even got some wood. Yes, we have. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. A very capacious beige leather interior indeed. Fortunately, someone's left it in this kind of mode here where I can show you what it looks like with the rearmost seats up and down. I'm not going to fiddle with them because it is actually a bit of a pain doing that. You have to sort of move cushions with your feet and things like that sometimes on these. But yeah, you can see that. The boot volume when the rearmost seats are occupied is quite low. It's about 260 litres, but like this, if that one was down as well, it's about 630 litres, I think. It's a very, very big car. Let's put this back. Both of the clients that I had who I sourced these for, they both had families and dogs and things like that. So if we get in this side, we can see that we've got little niceties such as not only very, very comfortable seats for you, and they do actually slide as well, as you saw, but we've also got climate vents just here. I think this is like another one as well. It might be something else, I can't remember. But this car, like a lot of them, has an integrated multimedia system. I don't know what, I think the remote is down there. I'll show that in a second. I don't know if it works or not, but it's there. I think Lee from LSB Car Sales, who's kindly offered me a chance to film this car today, says that the system does work. It's just there should be some headphones and there aren't any. So we won't demonstrate that too much. I don't have my DVD selection with me either. So there we go. I don't know why this that's yes, that's why it wasn't working, viewers. And as you can see here, we've got RGB connectors as well. 12-volt socket. We'll just leave that thing alone because it's not quite doing what I thought it was. But yeah, cup holders. That feels okay. One thing I would say, having actually sourced a couple of these, this whole thing can become a bit loose and actually disconnect from the front bit. You have to push it back in. One of the ones I sourced was like that. It just needed sort of some persuasion to just stay where it was. But yeah, those front two seats are electric. We've got lumbar support and things like that. Can we move the seat a bit further back? Or do I? Oh yes, you can. You can actually slide it like this. So we've got a bit more room. Very nice views. Enormous door pockets, absolutely huge, and a nice sort of beige soft touch door top with beige leather inserts. I mean, how could it get better than this? A nice big Volvo with extremely comfortable seats, with a beige leather interior, wood, and a multimedia system that doesn't have any sound. Maybe that could be better. Yeah, so vents there. The vents do sometimes break, actually. I've seen one of these before with broken ones. Yeah, we've got matte pockets here, but leather's worn really well in this car, actually, which is nice. So, yes, I think we'd better take a look at the boot, actually. It's one of the reasons you buy a car like this. At the time the XC90 was released in 2002, they were in the same stable as Land Rover, all under Ford, and so they might have taken inspiration from one of those. If I can find the release, it's somewhere here. Hold on a second. Yep, it's right in the middle. What an idiot, as usual. Okay, so that's how you open the bottom part of the tailgate that you can sit on like a Range Rover. Now, what's interesting about these cars is the spare wheel isn't actually here. It's somewhere else. But also, if you go for an R design model, it has a different rear exhaust setup, and you can't have a spare at all. You just can't have one, which isn't the best. You can see here we've got two cup holders in there. I don't know who the front one's for. Actually, I don't know who the rear one's for. Front one's sort of okay, and you can see there's a little climate control thing, which you might have to climb in and have a look at. Who's the rear cup holder for? Maybe it's for you if you're sitting there and you're on the tailgate, you're at a shooting party or something. Maybe that's what it is. So if we go round this side, perhaps if we pull this one forward. Yeah, so we can use that one. Okay. And there's a little thing here for something. I don't know quite what you do with that, but there you go. Yeah, there's the cup holder. There's the seat belt. Cunning way of keeping it hidden if you're folding it. Yeah, I'm not sure what you'd use that for, but there we go. Let's make sure we don't trap that one. Actually, you can do this with one hand if you really want. So it's not too bad. Very safe. It's got the solid impact airbags in there. Yeah, I mean, actually sliding things in and out of there, you can see what it would be like either with the seat up or down. It's quite easy. Okay. Oh, the number plate didn't fall out for a change. Excellent. Right, let's have a seat in the front. Considering it's done 150,000 miles, it's actually worn okay. Although we have got some discoloration on the steering wheel. Handbrake's actually this thing, although most of XC90s are automatics, you don't really have to use it. Obviously you'll need it for the MOT. Interior looks very similar to something like a P2 V70 that came out in 2000. And that's no surprise considering the cars have it on a roughly similar platform, though it's not identical. I think that switch though is out of something like a P1 V70 actually. Similar anyway. These big old stalks are both sort of very familiar. Cruise control and audio controls and electric windows on there. This car's actually got blind spot monitoring. It's one of the first cars ever to have that. Unfortunately, the power fold mirrors, which are like sort of here, they don't seem to work, which is a shame. But all sorts of things. That's for the parking sensors. That's for the blind spot monitoring. We've got rear air conditioning, dual zone climate control. Here's the control for the rear multimedia system. Open that up. You've got lots and lots of space in there for things. You've got another compartment. I can open that one separately, but that might be too much for me. More cup holders and an aux in. It just goes on and on, doesn't it? So many things. Big door bins, about speed covers falling off. Maybe you would too if you've done 150,000 miles. Sure, me secret mission documents are going here, no problem. Yep, that's absolutely fine. Nice soft touch dash. Yeah, it's pretty plush in here. There's no sunglasses compartment. We've got lots and lots and lots of lights we can turn on. That's interesting. Do we have lights that come on with this? Yes, we do. And those still work as well. And an automatic dipping rear view mirror just goes on and on, doesn't it? The one thing I would say, if you've got a car that has the inbuilt sat nav, which is the same using Aston Martin, yes, Aston Martin, then you do need to keep the remote and it slides out of here. It's pretty useless these days, to be honest, even on like a 2013 car, which is one of the ones I actually sourced. But there we go. Multi-stage heated seats, which is nice, I suppose. One thing I don't know is this car's got auto wipers. It might not, it might just have normal ones actually. Nice command driving position, electric seats, of course, down there with memory function. Yeah, all sorts of exciting things. Right, I suppose we'd... that's really comfortable as well. We better look under the bonnet before I fall asleep and use this as an armchair. So here's the 3.2 straight 6 engine, which also shared with some Land Rovers at the time. In this case, developing 234 horsepower. It looks pretty tight in here. And it probably is, all the stuff that's in there. These actually are a chain engine, and as other V8s, the earlier 2.9 straight 6 and the 2.5 turbo 5-cylinder are belt engines. This is a chain engine, so I suppose it's less to worry about, although it's still pretty complicated under here. One thing you must check with these is the four-wheel drive system and make sure it actually still works. Because not all of them still do. Some of them are just front wheel drive, but yeah, you know, if you know what you're doing, I'm sure some of the parts are the same as the old V70, but yeah, some of them definitely aren't. Anyway, that's quite enough. Let's go for another drive, shall we? So with that growling inline 6-cylinder. It is good fun, this. I just realised the fuel lights come on, which is probably a bit of a problem, but not so much a problem as the Yamaha developed 4.4 V8. Yeah, you've got to be something of a rich person to actually drive one of those. We'll go over some of the common issues with these cars a little bit later on. But one of them is some of the electrics in this car don't work properly anymore. Blind spot monitoring, I'm not entirely sure. I think that actually does work, but it's like things like power folding mirrors and things like that. But you'd expect that for a car that's over 15 years old and, you know, on the market for less than £5,000 really. But it's really comfortable to drive. It's a very nice combined driving position. The ride is a bit sort of soft. It's a little bit wallowy. But then, you know, it's on a Porsche Cayenne. Those are very different, actually. Being a member of the Volvo Owners Club and having filmed tons of Volvos on this channel and owned a fair few Volvos myself, I quite like this. But then, of course, I've sourced 2 of these for clients, so I'd probably say that. So, do you detect a hint of bias? Probably yes. So let's look at some common issues with the first generation XC90. There are actually quite a few of them, and some of these cars, I've seen them for under £1,000, but they're not really no budget reviews cars because they won't be in good condition. First thing to bear in mind is the fact that the 4-wheel drive system might not work, and you can check for that by going underneath and actually spinning the prop shaft. It sounds very low tech, but you know, there we go. So if you've got a car with the cam belt engine, and if it's this channel, then that would be the 2.5 turbo and the 2.9 T6, you've got to make sure that you change those cam belt tensioners. The Geartronic transmission, which is fitted to the majority of them, the automatic gearbox, that can fail quite expensively. If you've got a car with a tow bar, then yeah, we'll look to see how that's been used. 4-wheel drive system, it's actually not that. It's not that actually expensive to fix if it goes wrong. So typical repair uses improved parts. Suspension. That can really kind of write the car off if you need to replace that. Power steering, that's actually a big deal on these. Lee's got another one of these at the moment that's a V8 and the power steering system has failed, and that's a very expensive job to actually fix. Yeah, let's make sure the electrics work. I don't think the power fold mirrors work on this car. They're quite sort of heavy on the brakes and the tyres. They don't rust. I don't think I've seen too many rusty ones of these, but the interiors do start falling apart after a while, even though they're actually built. Yes, viewers, I'm afraid this video is absolutely terrible. My mount just fell off the screen again. So let's finish with talking about some of these trim levels. This is an SE Lux, but there are loads of other S's and SEs. So yes, S, SE, SE Lux, SE Premium, SE Ocean Race. There was also a normal Ocean Race limited edition. It was about 500 in 2006. I don't know what the difference between the SE Ocean Race and the Ocean Races. SE Premium, SE Sport, ES, ES Premium, Active, Active Premium. The Executive that was generally available with some really nice big petrol engines. The R-Design, the R-Design Premium, the R-Design SE, and the R-Design SE Premium. Typical Volvo, a whole load of really confusing trim levels, some of which overlapped and things like that. So viewers, should you consider a first generation Volvo XC90 for your hard-earned budget of between £1,000 and £5,000? Well, this car is currently for sale at less than £5,000, and I understand why. It's not perfect, but overall it looks all right actually on the outside. I've got some scuffs and things, but not too bad. This engine's absolutely fantastic, and yeah, if you want a big car like this, I think this is personally for me better than a Porsche Cayenne, but your mileage literally might vary. Anyway, Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Thank you again to Lee for letting me have a go in this car, even if my videos are terrible. And we shall see you again very soon for some more reasonably priced motoring.